Leo. What's up, Leo? What's going on? It's your girl D here with your October 2022 astrology reading. This is going to be a reading based on the planetary alignments and how I see it and what some of you guys might be dealing with, past, present, or future, based on planetary alignments for a Leo ascendant and Leo sun sign. But it doesn't just have to resonate with those two placements. It can resonate with any body because everybody has Leo in their chart. So if you're checking this out, hopefully you'll get something positive out of it, or you'll get some type of just something that will help you to shed some clarity or to give you a different perspective, right? So that you can do what's best for you. Again, this is just my interpretation of the planetary alignments, okay? Just like with anybody else who will tell you what they see. It's their interpretation of things, okay? So take what resonates, leave the rest. If you need a personal, my information's in the box below. But don't forget to subscribe to my other channel as well as this one. The other channel is called The Many Styles of Tarot, and the link for that is in the box below the video. We got a lot of planetary movement going on, all right, in the stars, up there in the clouds, for the whole month of October going into the rest of the year. We're setting it off here with Libra season. So let's talk about what's going on right now. Well, let's do it in chronological order because there's a lot of changes, planetary changes. So on the 2nd, Mercury goes direct, right? Mercury's in retrograde in Virgo. For you, that's your second house, okay? That's the house of your money-making potential, right? And it's also the house of your self-esteem, self-value, loyal, security, okay? Insecurities, how you provide for yourself. And Mercury's there going direct, right? Mercury's going direct on the 2nd. So by the time you check this out, it'll be like a little bit past that time, but we'll still be in the post-shadow of Mercury retrograde for about another week and a half, if even that. But do not sleep on the post shadow period, because you can still experience the energies of Mercury retrograde during this time. So with Virgo here, this is, Virgo is about, looking at things and making sense of it, making moves that make sense, being practical about things, understanding that, there is an explanation for things. A lot of times there's a reason for things, there's an explanation for things. And understanding that is what's important. And with Mercury in retrograde here and now going direct, in the past when it was in retrograde, you were looking back at things you understood, your interpretation of things, the way it was for you, the way it appeared to be to you in reference to, how you communicate and understand things with yourself as well as with others. And I feel like you're breaking that down because I see that your 10th house here has some major stuff going on. We'll get to that. But I just feel like you're a lot of us, with Mercury in retrograde, it's all about looking at things from the past and making sense of it, trying to understand it, right? Because Mercury is also about communication, is about how you understand things. It's not just about what you say. It's how you say it as well. There's also nonverbal communication, which to me is also included under mercurial energy. Now, that could be more so the opposite polarity can go into Neptunish type thing, because it could be an illusion. They may paint a picture of doing one thing, but you may receive it as another. It's all about your understanding of what makes sense and what doesn't. And I think that you are working on that. You're figuring things out, as we all are, because we're all clearing out karmic stages right now with this solar eclipse coming up in the middle of the month or towards the end of the month, but we'll get to that. So the next thing that's going on, I'm going to go in chronological order. On October 8th, Pluto goes direct in your 6th house. The 6th house for you is the house of, well, for all of us, our 6th house is, our hierarchy of prioritizing things. What's most important versus what's not. On a societal level, it could be like, your boss, your supervisor, and then you. And if you have people who report to you, if you look at it from that perspective, like from a work perspective, and from a societal perspective as well. So, you have the president, you have blah, 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 the vice president, it's like the order of operation for things. But it also talks about your daily routines, your patterns, what you do every day when you get up, you brush your teeth, you go do A, B, and C, whatever your routine is, your morning routine before you step out the house. If you step out the house the same day every day, that's your routine. So what you do on a regular basis, right? Also, this has to do with health, taking care of your physical body. And with Pluto here, Pluto's about power struggles. It's about intensity, okay? It's also about money. Now, when it's in retrograde, it's thinking about these power struggles, whether you have power struggles internally within yourself in reference to taking better care of your health, changing your routines and patterns so that they benefit you instead of hindering you. Rearranging the hierarchical order of things, like what's most important to you versus what's not, or respecting the hierarchy in which you have to conform to, right? It could also have to do with your routines at work. So some of you could be finding new work, looking for a different job. Maybe you have gotten a promotion. Some of you could be changing the way that you go about taking care of your health. You could be more conservative about what you eat. Your workout regimen, you may be feeling as if you're looking at why wasn't I more disciplined? Why wasn't I more structured in whatever area or genre that the sixth house covers? And so you could be rearranging your hierarchy of what's important, how you go about doing things, just switching things up because you realized it didn't work, but most importantly, understanding why it didn't work, the power struggle, right? The dynamic there. And we're also dealing with money here in the sixth house. So for a lot of you, this has to do, like I said earlier, with your job, your coworkers. Okay, maybe a lot of you are seeing coworkers leave and come, or you're going into an environment where you're dealing with new colleagues, business partners, coworkers, etc. But I think a lot of us are seeing that in our corporations all over the world. A lot of change going on right now. A lot of major change, of course, because of the financial global financial crisis that we're in. And just other changes going on spiritually as well. So that's what I see what's going on for you. But with Pluto going direct on the 8th, and right next door in your 7th house is Saturn going direct. Pluto also deals with reincarnation. So I'm getting slavery energy. I don't, with the 6th house and Capricorn and Pluto. I'm getting, people doing things against their will, not wanting to do something, being forced to. When it comes to maybe a job, or there's something that you're doing, there's some type of routine that is either controlling you or you're forced to do it and you're trying to figure out how to get out of it. Or it could be vice versa. Maybe, I don't know if you're doing this to somebody, all right, but I just got that energy of being a slave to something. Maybe you end up, it could be mental slavery in reference to why you're not disciplined about something. But I feel like you're focusing on that. You're working on that. So some of you may consider seeking outside help for that. You could also be considering just looking at your natal chart and just understanding, okay, this is why I may have this particular plight in life, or this is why I'm dealing with this right now, and what can I do to combat it? And that's also in your chart as well. Now, with Saturn going direct in your 7th house on the 23rd. Oh, before we get to that, on the 9th, I talked about Pluto going direct on the 8th. We got the Aries full moon on the 9th in your 9th house. So this is the house of your higher understanding, wisdom, okay, your philosophy on life, your spiritual religious views, your right and wrong, right? You also got Chiron here. Okay, so Chiron is all about the wounded healer, the spiritual healer. So for some of you, with this being your Aries house, you're looking at the things you've been through. Some, Aries to me deals with things that we have to deal with for the rest of our days. Pains that we acquire. It could be physical, it could be emotional, spiritual, but a lot of times it is something that was set up for us prior to us being here. Like, for example, with Chiron, he was conceived of rape. So, he came into the world based on some type of pain or trauma, and this is a part of what he has to accept about himself, but yet understand that he also has gifts, and there's a reason for him being here, and he's to share those gifts. And so that's what Chiron represents to me. The fact that we all have pain that we have to live with from some type of tragic event that happens to us. We have to deal with it for the rest of our days. It doesn't ever go away, but it can get easier, and you can use it to your benefit. And that's what Chiron in retrograde is all about, figuring out how. Okay? And so with Chiron and Aries, Chiron is the energy of, the wounded healer continuing on regardless. And, Aries is that energy as well. Aries is the warrior energy. Aries is going to fight until it cannot physically get up and go anymore, until the fire is literally gone, right? So there's only two ways that happen. You either put your own fire out or somebody puts it out for you, one or the other. But other than that, Aries is just going to go. So for some of you, this is all about resilience. I feel like you look back at some of the things you've been through, and if you really stop to think about it, you'll think that the adjectives to describe some of the karmic wrap up would be resilience. So congratulations to you on that. Moving on the 23rd, we got a couple of placements going on. Let's talk about the one that's going on, and then we'll talk about the others that lead us into this the eclipse, because we're in pre-eclipse season, y'all. All right, we're having two eclipses, one on the 25th of October, and another one 2 weeks later on the 8th of November. But before we get there, Saturn in your seventh house, the seventh house of all partnerships in your life, how you relate to people, how they relate to you, how you balance the scales, or do you allow the scales to be unbalanced, and if so, what do you do to try to bring it back into play? And I feel like with Saturn going direct here, Saturn is a planet of restrictions. All right, so there could have been a lot of setbacks in the different types of relationships that you may have had. A lot of it is because I feel like that some of these relationships you had are relationships that were temporary. They were in your life for a reason, a reason, a season, but it wasn't meant for, a long period of time. So for some of you, it could be just letting go of, old relationships that have taken their toll for whatever way. Doesn't have to be anything negative. It could just be like, how you meet someone, you connect with them, you met them, but yet now they're leaving and they go on to another job. And, you may not, exchange numbers with this person, but it doesn't mean that it's anything negative. It could just be like, okay, good luck to you. Take care. It was a pleasure knowing you. I wish you the best. And then that's it. You don't see them anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it could be those types of relationships that maybe they come to an end in that way. Okay, it could definitely be work related because, again, your sixth house is busy here with Pluto. Pluto is death and rebirth, okay, and birth, period. So, yeah, I see that, some of the relationships are coming to an end. And with Saturn and Pluto, it's all very karmic energy, okay? So I feel like your work dynamic or and it's either something at your work dynamic or the people you meet at work or the people you meet when you connect and do projects, or your battle is a internal one to discipline yourself, self-discipline. Whatever type of battle you had in those arenas, karmically, the new cycle is about to begin by the end of this month, okay? Now, your eighth house, that's your house, your psychology, okay? Why you do the things you do. What really makes you tick, and the power struggles you have with keeping your desires in place, right? So you got Neptune here in retrograde. Oh, put a pause on that. I told you after I talked to you about Saturn, I was going to talk to you about, because that was the 23rd of October. We have to go in chronological order. So after Saturn direct, like I said, you're outgrowing connections that you've had, realizing the limits to these connections, considering if you are going to rearrange them as far as the level of importance in your life, or if you're going to rearrange the dynamics in those relationships so that they can either continue to flourish in your life, or you may decide, okay, there's nothing I can do about this. This is, I'm on the low-hanging fruit or the low-hanging side of this scale. I'm not getting what I need, so I need to, go someplace else. Or, maybe someone's ended contact with you. So that could be the case as well. Some of you may have lost your pet. My condolences to you in reference to that. Maybe you're considering getting another one, or it could be your pet is giving birth. Okay, so this might be a prime time for a lot of breeders of whatever type of animal. But that's the 23rd. Okay, now also on the 23rd, Venus is going into Scorpio. On the 24th, the Sun goes into Scorpio. We already know the South Node is in Scorpio. Not only that, on the 25th, this is when we're having our first of the two eclipses for this time of year. The first eclipse is occurring on the 25th in the house of Scorpio. It's a partial solar eclipse. So we got a lot of energy going on in your fourth house. There's a lot of ancestral energy I'm picking up here. I feel like a lot of you are very appreciative of your family. Okay? It could be your mother, your grandmother. Some of you could come from a strong family of matriarchs. All right? Because this is all a lot of feminine energy. Venus is feminine. The sun, not the sun is masculine. But then we have the moon energy, the lunar energy of the South Node, and the lunar energy of the actually the sun energy of the solar eclipse. So it's a nice it could be like a balance there, masculine, feminine energy. But yeah, so there could be people could be pregnant as well. Be careful. This is an energy. This is a baby making time right now. This time of year. So if you're not trying to have babies, be careful. Some of you may find out that it could be people in your family who may have children on the way, men or women. Okay, so you may notice that. Now, forgive me, you might hear my neighbors out there, but they're, they live in life. So, yeah, there's a lot of energy going on your fourth house here. Like I said, spiritual, ancestral energies as well. With Scorpio energy, the veil is going to be very thin as we get closer to Halloween. So this would be a good time if you are doing ancestral work to really ramp it up and to really clear your space, clear your energy so that you're able to receive. This may also be a good time for you to start some type of fast or restricted food intake so that you can get those divine downloads. Pay attention to your dreams as well. You don't have anything in your 12th house, but because this is your fourth house and this is dealing with lunar energy deals with past lives, you're open, you're ripe for downloads from your ancestors. So pay attention, okay? I can't stress that enough to you. Pay attention, right? So all that's going on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, all of that in one place, okay? So again, I was going to go over to the 8th house where we have Neptune in retrograde, and this is your house of Pisces. So again, I see pregnancy, okay? Whether you're going to be a parent for the first time or again, or you're going to be a grandparent or an auntie or uncle, a father, it doesn't matter. There could be that going on. If there's no physical births going on, then there's a major transformation going on here in reference to what's going on in your family. You're appreciating them more, or they're appreciating you. There's a lot of value here. There could be family members getting together and maybe preparing for an elder to pass on. Maybe you have an elderly family member who can no longer take care of themselves, and now it's time for them to maybe look for some type of care, some assisted living or assisted care. You're at that elderly age, or they're at that elderly age. Or you could be dealing with the opposite end of that. Maybe someone passed away and they were dealing with some type of ended, at the end of life care. Could be have something to do with the house as well. Okay, the home itself that may have been left behind here by a family member or elder. Okay, so some of you could be dealing with those types of things, especially with Neptune in retrograde in Pisces. You may be finding out some things that you didn't know about this relative or your family dynamics, or something that went on in your past that could be being exposed, or you could be realizing some things. Jupiter is going into Pisces, which is your 8th house, along with Neptune, on the 30th of October. This is going to be repeat energy. We just dealt with this a couple of months ago. So look back this year to when Jupiter was in retrograde in Pisces, as well as Neptune being in retrograde in Pisces. It had to be like 2 months ago, right? So whatever energy was going on in your psychological makeup, as far as why you do the things you do, what you do behind the scenes, you may notice that energy may manifest again. Some thoughts that you may have had, ideologies or views, may reappear again. And those are the ones you want to pay attention to, because it's meant for it to reappear again. That's why this energy is going back, right? It's retrograding back into Pisces. It was just there. So we got that going on the 30th. Not only that, on the 30th, we have Mars going retrograde on the 30th in Gemini. That's your house of long-term goals, long-term friends, long-term relationships, your social life, your social status, how you interact in group environments, right? And your friends, things like that. Your organizations that you're involved in. Now, you may be somebody who does a lot. You know, you may know a lot of people. You move about a lot. You connect a lot. I feel like that's going to slow down a bit for you between now and the beginning of January. It could be because of the holidays. You know, a lot of people slow down with work, you know, at this time of year, or just things slow down, period. Because depending on where you are in the world, the weather changes, right? We're in the midst of change right now. We're in fall. So, you know, certain things, activities, businesses, they shut down temporarily until, you know, we get back to next year. So that could be going on, you know. So some of you may not be moving about a lot with your friends, traveling to see your friends. You know, maybe you used to have trips and stuff with your friends. You would do get-togethers with your friends. I feel like a lot of that is going to calm down a bit. You're not doing that as much. And it could be because baby's on the way. Or you could be working on some type of project here that you're not letting people know about, okay? Some of you could be working in the movie industry. You could be working on a film. Some of you are entertainers. You're working on films. Some of you are just going to be zoned out and watching a lot of movies this time of year. Maybe this is the time of year you like to chill out and stay in the house and be a homebody and watch a lot of TV, all right? But I sense that's coming up for some of you. Like, yeah, just unwinding. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, some of you could be home from, you know, there could be people who are coming home from the war. Not the war. But if you were, you know, sent away and you're in the military. I mean, yeah, there's a war going on. Forgive me. There's lots of wars going on right now. So, yeah, some of you could be coming home from war. All right. I was just looking at my my analytics the other day. And a lot of my audience, like the U.S. came in third as far as the audience that I have. Australia and I forget the other country, forgive me, came as the top two. And I was really, Kuwait came in top as well. But other countries outside of the United States, check out the channel. So peace and blessings to you all. But, you know, there's a lot going on. So some people could be coming home, being discharged. There could be other people getting deployment papers, you know, letting them know, hey, this is when we need you to leave. Okay, so there's a lot of that going on, what I feel. So, you know, people could just be going to chill out with family. I feel like a lot of people are going to chill out with family, going home to stay with family, or planning things for the holidays right now. Planning holiday gatherings, who's going to do what at whose house, and things like that. So I feel like some of you are getting down with that. Some of you, if you're an entertainer, I just get that there's entertainers, they're on break from filming until December, when Neptune goes direct, is what I'm feeling here. So, you know, you could be on a little hiatus while you're filming, whether it's TV, movies, whatever. I get that going on here for a lot of you. Or if you work in that industry, like maybe you're a choreographer for a major Broadway show, or maybe you're a makeup artist for a hit TV series, you know, maybe you work in the sports industry, you know, that could be going, you know, in you know, whatever's going on in that time of year, like football's hot right now. So, you know, maybe you could be, work could be picking up for you. But overall, these are just some general things that I see going on for you guys. Very general, nothing very specific, because this is not an individual chart read. It's just the planetary alignments and what some of you might be dealing with in different areas of your life. Hopefully this will give you a little something to go on. I recommend you check last month's reading. We'll check out all the readings, but check out last month's astrology reading. See if anything resonates with that, from that for you, right? So you can go to the playlist of whatever sign and check that out. So thanks for checking out the channel. I wish you guys the best. The next reading I'm going to do is going to be, I don't know what it's going to be, because we got a lot of activity going on. I was just going to do Mars in retrograde, but I forgot about the eclipses. So I think I got to do something with that. But I also got to do your North Node readings. So we got some readings coming up. So make sure you subscribe. All right, stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe to the other channel as well. That's the Mini Styles of Tarot. The link for that's in the box below. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next reading. Take care, Leo.